Okay, guys, here's our adding with different signs integer page, journal page. So make sure that you have the correct title at the top. Make sure that you're adding this into your table of contents also. Let's stay organized. For me, this is going on page 39. It should be going on the right side page with adding with the same sign on the other side. So adding with different signs. This is where we're going to talk about adding a positive to a negative and a negative to a positive, which you learned today. So our first step, as you know, you're going to subtract the numbers. So we're actually, it's even though it's addition, it's still subtraction. And we're going to just take away like normal. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the sign of the number with the greater absolute value, which you guys know, we're not going to say take the sign of the greater number because technically speaking, your positive number is always going to be greater, but we want to think about the value. How far away is that number from zero? And is the positive number going to be great enough to pull it past zero into the positive? So you should always be asking yourself before you even start adding, should my answer be positive or negative? So we're going to start with this example right here. So we know that -8 has a greater absolute value than +5. So in my head, I should know my answer is automatically going to be negative. Like it's automatically going to be negative because I'm starting at that -8, and that +5 is not going to be enough to drag it past the zero. So I think of this as like, you owe me $8. Somebody, you notice you always are owing me money. It's crazy. Somebody gives you $5. You pay me some of that money, but you still owe me. So you're still in the negative. So anyway, we're going to subtract 8 minus 5, which gives me 3. And I know that I was taking the sign of the number with the greater absolute value, which was negative. So my answer is actually going to be -3. Okay, example number 2. And remember, you're putting all these examples in your journal so that you can check that in with me before moving on to your next task. Okay, right here. So I have different signs again. I have +6 plus -3. And I know +6 has a greater absolute value than -3. So my answer is going to be positive. So then I'm going to subtract the numbers, 6, take away 3, and that's going to give me 3. And I know it's going to be positive, so my answer is +3. And again, I could put a positive sign in front of it, or I could just leave it as 3. Either one of those is fine as long as my answer doesn't say negative. All right, next. Oh, we've got decimals. Yikes. Except not yikes, because it's really easy and we're good at calculating with decimals. So I've got -4 plus +5.5. And I know positive 5.5 has a greater absolute value than -4. So my answer is going to be positive. So when I subtract, I have to take 4 away from 5.5. Even though it's written this way, I have to take this guy away from this guy because I can't, Anyway, so 5.5 take away 4. And for me, I'd rather have this stacked because that just feels more comfortable to me. So 5 take away 0 is 5. Drop that decimal. 5 take away 4 is 1. So my answer is 1.5. And remember, we have to pay attention. It's going to be a positive 1.5. So my answer is positive 1.5. Last one. Oh, you should have known it was going to be a fraction. Okay, so I've got 18 18 plus -2 1/4. And I know 18 is way bigger, so my answer is going to stay positive. So I'm going to do 18 take away 2 1/4. So when I do this, I am going to actually regroup my 18 to make it 17, and then I have to have some fourths to take away from, right? So 17 4/4. So all I did was I just traded in one of my whole numbers for 4/4. And then I'm going to take away 2 1/4. 4/4 take away 1/4 is 3/4. 17 take away 2 is 15. And my answer is going to be positive. I don't know why I wrote a negative sign there. That's kind of crazy. So my answer is going to be positive 15 3/4. This step right here, you might have forgotten how to do that, and that's okay. What I was just trying to do is show you that no matter what kind of crazy math we're doing, the negatives and positives rules still apply. Please make sure you have all of these examples written down and you check this in with me. Thanks so much for playing along.